Hey everybody, it's Still Sober with John Rabin. If you're a sober person, hope you're staying sober. If you're not a sober person, hope you're staying sane. This is a spoiler alert show. Not really. That's the title because I'm going to talk about two movies that I saw this past week. So I just wanted to start it off by saying and just letting you know, a spoiler alert, I'm going to be talking about the movie Obsession and The Odyssey. Now, the spoiler alert part isn't even really all that big because the Odyssey is a few it's been around a minute, so you can't really spoil that story, but you kind of can because it's thematically different. And Obsession, I'm not really going to talk about how it ends. I just want to talk about the movie, and it's already out on Peacock that you can see. So it's like, don't spoil it for me. Well, then fucking go watch it on Peacock. You totally have a subscription to that probably. Just go. What's the problem? Just go see it. Like I didn't want necessarily want to see it. It's not my type of movie. I don't watch horror films, but my wife wanted me to watch it. So because she enjoyed it, but also she really only wanted me to watch it for one reason. And she told me the reason after I saw it. So I see the movie. And like I said, spoiler alert going through, maybe you're like me. Most movies, I look up the plot to see what happens before I watch the movie so that I can so instead of sitting there going, I don't like the tension and the anxiety of, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. That's not how I enjoy films. I watch a movie knowing what I'm getting into, and then I just sit back and I just enjoy it. It's weird. It's related to control issues. I know it is, but it's what I do. Certain there are some like exceptions. Like I didn't look up. I kind of knew how the Odyssey went, but like I didn't look it up. And and so like Nolan films and like Tarantino films, I don't look at the spoilers. I don't know why. I think I look at movies that are too conventional. Any kind of movie where there's an emotional, personal relationship problem, like that's the plot. Like, oh, will they get back together by the end? That annoys me. I'd rather just see. I'm like, oh, they are going to separate at the end. Good. Okay, now I can watch the movie for what it is and not worry about if Tyler and Beth are going to patch things up, which is not even the point of this fucking movie. It's just a subplot that they threw in to hide the fact that it's a mediocre film and and conventionally written. But anyway, so the reason that my wife wanted me to watch Obsession is she wanted me to look at, see all the crazy things that the chick did. I really should probably look up the character names. That might actually be good. The girl, the boy, then the girl said, and then the boy said, okay. Yeah. So the idea of the movie is that Bear, who's basically an incel, um, he buys a one wish willow that it's a novelty toy that claims to grant one wish. He broke it and he wished that what was it? And he goes, they wish that Nikki, the girl's name, Nikki, loved him more than anyone in the world. So the whole movie is Nikki being possessed by this wish just becomes more and more unhinged and spirals into a major crazy disaster. Um, and my wife asked me after I watched it, she said, okay, so this is the thing. You've seen some kind of unhinged women, and like how crazy was a was some of that? Was some did some of that seem like it's just kind of codependent, like not crazy, but just kind of codependent, like written from a point of view like, oh, you know, it'd be crazy if this girl said that nobody would know love like she had, and that everybody would die before they knew what real love was. My wife goes, I think I've actually literally said that at a party about you. And that's the thing is that, yeah, there's about 4 or 5 things that Nikki does in this movie that's not great. That's psycho. Like, you know, like killing somebody or doing something with his dead cat. That's the thing. The beginning of the movie, Bear, the guy who takes over his grandma's house for some reason, um, his cat ate some of his grandma's medication, some oxycodone, and it kills the cat. And that's actually the one part of the whole movie that my wife was concerned about me seeing. But the thing about it is that you never see the cat alive, like so you don't like get any kind of a connection. And the dead cat, quote unquote, in the movie is so cartoonishly fake looking that you're like, oh no, that stuffed animal that never was alive is dead. Like, and I think they did that on purpose. I think the whole idea was we don't really want to kill a real cat. Like, we're already making fun of incels in a way with this movie. Let's not, if we're going to already piss off the incels, let's not also piss off cat lovers. That's the entire internet. You're going to make the incels and people who love cats all mad at you. You want everybody to be mad? Not a great idea. So, also the thing about Obsession, they made it for $750,000, and it's made like 475 million, which is nice. Um, but that's the thing. There's a lot of things that she acts crazy, like quote unquote crazy, because she is. She's possessed by the spell or whatever. And you know, like watching him sleep and then crying hysterically and accusing him of not loving her. And I'm like, I've dated this. Like, there's several things in there that I'm like, yeah, sometimes they be like that. You know, it's yeah. So there are a few things. Yeah, there's a few things that you definitely. It's like, well, you know, maybe don't cook the dead cat and or do, you know, murder's bad, but a lot of the stuff that she does, like, oh my god, she's crazy, it's like, they just kind of maybe she's just passionate. She's just a passionate person. She's very emotional. It's like I've either personally or had a friend who personally dealt with very similar things in this movie. And I like maybe it's scarier for young people who spent most of their like formative years during the pandemic. So they didn't really get to date. You know, they're inside kids and that this is really, really scary. But I mean, if you're coming from like being in your 40s or 50s, you're gonna see it and you go, that's a very entertaining movie. I know who that girl is. So that's just what it is. It is going to be hard to talk about the Odyssey without sounding like a pretentious asshole. I don't think I can pull it off. I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed it. I really did. It's fantastic. It's unbelievable. It's moving. It's profound as fuck. I've never I've never seen a movie with a perspective like Nolan telling his version of the Odyssey change the way you think about the Trojan horse. Like all this time, thought about it one way. You come in from one direction thinking this is how clever Odysseus is. What a great idea. And this movie positions it more as a violation of Zeus's law and a war crime. That's what it comes down to. And the thing that cracks me up is the amount of people, apparently not a very big amount, because it's all about, reasonable takes do not get any interaction online because people are sadists. They like to make themselves upset. So they like takes. They like to give really hard takes, really controversial takes, because that gets the most engagement. Maybe they believe it. Maybe they don't. Doesn't really matter. That's what they're pushing because they want you to like and subscribe. So I mentioned it before. The idea that people were hating on a movie before they even saw it. A lot of whiny, bitchy, conservative douchebags who didn't want to admit that they don't find black women attractive. I'm not racist. I just, she's just not you can't you can't have her play Helen of Troy, Lupita Nyong'o, from what, Black Panther, which is funny because they're like, you can't. They have no problem with her. I mean, they didn't mention her playing what, Clytemnestra. She had two roles, but it's like, no, the Helen of Troy. She can't be. Helen of Troy is supposed to be a pretty hot blonde chick. You know how I know? Because of the movie Troy. That's really what everybody knows. They know the movie Troy, and so they're going off of that. So they were making stuff up like, they've got a trans man playing Achilles. He's not. Elliot Page did not play Achilles. Sorry. He had a smaller role than a very pivotal role. Actually, and the thing about it is, so here's the thing. So, and it's always weird to me that normally when people are transphobic and talk about trans people, they're really, really more wary of trans women, guys who want to be chicks. That's usually what it is. So it's weird to be a trans man would freak him out. The fuck do you care? Um, the irony is that Elliot Page, before coming out as trans, is not a very good actor. It's my opinion. I did not find their acting good at all. Like it's like almost distracting in Inception. It's fine in X-Men Days of Future Past. Just not a whole. I didn't find their acting good at all. It's got a small part in the Odyssey. It's ironically after all this bitching and moaning, it's actually pretty good. It's a key scene in there that's really good. I'm like, wow, Elliot Page is a better actor than Ellen Page. That's all I got to say. That's all I'm saying. So the irony of the whole thing is that these fucking idiots who are treating the Odyssey like they do the comic book movies, where it's like Thor wouldn't do that, kind of stuff, but they're doing it with the Odyssey like they fucking read it, like they've been a fan. I've been a fan of the Homer's Odyssey all my life. No, you haven't. You don't read. Just like Rogan, you listen to audiobooks. You said, I read this book the other day. No, you didn't read. You didn't read shit. You listened to something in your earbuds for 3 hours, and then you're telling people, and now you're repeating it like you read the book and learned something. You didn't. You just listened to JD Vance's new fucking bullshit. That's all you did. You download, probably didn't even pay for it. So the irony of them being upset about the Odyssey, talking about woke hiring. Oh no, they're just being woke for to win an award. He won an Academy Award already with a Oppenheimer, which is the whitest movie you've ever seen. There are two women in it, but everybody is white. White as hell. The irony is that if they had gone and seen the movie, there would be plenty for them to object to, and they'd have legitimate complaints that would make them sound less racist, really. It's like, oh, what's this woke casting? Maybe he finds her hot. She is hot, by the way. Lupita is a hot woman. Anyway, specifically, if you wanted to see the Odyssey as a huge action adventure film, with a courageous hero, that's not what this movie is. That could have been your complaint. You could have come out of there going, this is some horse shit, man. What is this inner turmoil, wrestling with his own guilt, emo bullshit? I wanted to see some macho badasses. That's what I wanted to see. Even though there's some macho badass scenes in this. Odysseus kills everybody. But all they had to do was wait. All you had to do was wait. Pre-complaining is strange. It really shows who you are to get angry about something you haven't seen. Can you imagine being the richest man in the world and being upset about a movie you haven't seen? You fucking baby. I'm going to make my own movie. Then make your own goddamn movie. Make your AI slop bullshit, poorly written movie, you baby. You fucking baby. Whiny little bitches. Can you imagine being at a level at this level? To be this whiny, to be this. It's crazy. It's crazy to be, like it's one thing to complain about something because you're distracting yourself from reality. Like you've got no control over what's going on in the world, all the terrible things in the world, and you're like, I've got no control over that. I'm going to distract myself and complain specifically about this random thing that doesn't. I want to complain about, Benson Boone, who I think wears pants that are too tight or whatever, just something because you can't do anything. But it's weird to hear rich people complain about meaningless stuff and ignore things that they could actually do something about, but they don't want to because it benefits them. The thing about the Odyssey is it's also um, one second. Da, 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 da. All right. It's also agnostic about whether the gods exist or not. They all mention them, but you don't. Odysseus sees a vision of Athena, the goddess Athena, and it's explained later. But there are no gods in this movie. They keep it agnostic. And I like that choice. It's a really interesting choice. Another thing that I noticed is, there's no CGI. There's zero CGI in the movie. And the difference here is when you watch a CGI movie, you're blown away at the beginning when you're adjusting to, like, whoa, look at this fancy, crazy world. Then you get used to it, and then you're just like, story's kind of lame. You start focusing on. With the Odyssey, I experienced the inverse, where it starts off kind of unimpressive, and you're just kind of watching it, and it slowly you realize that everything has been built from nothing. Everything's been built from scratch. Everything is practical. Everything is believable. It's just these are things happening. You're in it. And you just seeing these things and it's just like and then like things happen and you're like, how the fuck did they do that? And you're just watching different things and it starts and it wows you over time. It's like this slow build finally like, whoa. I If you're actually listening to this and you haven't seen it, don't go see it in one of those theaters that shakes your chair and sprays water in your face. Just sit down and watch it. You don't have to do. I had tickets to see it at the IMAX, but then I realized that it was a sold out showing. That we were going to have to stand outside for a long period of time, fighting over general admission tickets, and I didn't want to do that, so I sold them to somebody else, and then I bought tickets to the iPix theater, and it was a tiny theater that only sat 30 people because the Odyssey had gotten pushed into the little tiny theaters to make room for Spider-Man that came out this past weekend. John, are you going to watch Spider-Man? I'm not. I'm not interested in Spider-Man. So, but that's what I did. I parked easily, went to the iPix theater. Me and my wife played pool for about an hour, kind of hung out, had beverages, ate, so we split a hamburger, casually walked over to the love seat. Each got a blanket and just sat down and watched the movie, and it was absolutely worth it. It was, it wasn't IMAX, but it was big enough. It was close enough. It's big. Like, hey, here we are. How big do you need it? Anyway. Stillsoberpod@gmail.com for any questions or comments that are positive to neutral. I'm telling you, everybody kills it in that movie. And that's the whole thing, is that the idea that's what should have pissed off all the incels, is that, conservatives pissed off about the wrong thing. They should have watched it and then been mad that there wasn't some, macho asshole the whole time going, oh, I wanted to see Reacher, but with, Spartan armor on, come on. Just, no. It's like, these people feeling things, dealing with, the war has a price. War has a price? What? I didn't come here to think. Stillsoberpod@gmail.com for any questions or comments that are positive to neutral. We'll see you next week. All right, later.